overlooking Hartbeespoort Dam, just one of our favorite places, of course. So what have we come out in this time? The A-Class Mercedes-Benz. Recently subjected to a very minor facelift, and I use the words minor facelift. And this one's got the AMG line as well, so you can see a few little cues. Now, for example, note that the front grille is made up of hundreds of little tiny three-pointed stars, just like the Mercedes badge, of course. Little details. You've got this very, very low front lip spoiler over here. So interesting looks to the car, but if you come and take a look at the side profile, you'll see it's the A-Class like you're used to seeing. But again, because it's the AMG line, take a look at these beautiful AMG mags. 19 inches on this car. That's pretty substantial, and they really, really look good. Very low profile tires, of course, but isn't that what you expect on a car like this? You come take a look over here. It is the baby of the Merc range, you can never forget, being the hatchback. So let's just pop open the back door quickly. The driver's seat is set for me as always. Let's have a look. Well, legroom is pretty decent, I must say. I still, from a rear seat passenger point of view, hate these seats with the integrated headrests. I'm sorry, it makes me feel a touch claustrophobic, even though you've got the post box over there. But all you're going to see is the back of the driver's head. Air vents for the rear seat, and you do have one USB-C at the back. So you've got all features like that. It's nice. I must say, headroom is also pretty good, even with my hat on. And interestingly, the panoramic roof doesn't extend as far back as you get on many, many other cars. It doesn't come over the rear seats. Well, just a design feature. Got no complaints about that. Let's have a look again. Something else just to point out, because it's the AMG line, note you get the mix of leather and Alcantara on the seating with a bit of red counter stitching. So it's a nice feel to it, and the Alcantara lots of people like because of course it does hold you in place really, really well. Let's come around to the rear and take a good look over here. Oh, shame. You've got to actually lift the boot yourself. Doesn't lift itself. Definitely a reasonable 1 Allen boot, this one. I wouldn't say more than 1 Allen, but I'm okay in it, so that's fine. And of course, drop the seats as usual. You know what to expect there. Interesting here. Take a look underneath. And typically of so many cars these days, note there's no spare wheel, but you've got your compressor mobility kit. You've got other equipment in the back here. So that takes up the whole area that would normally, of course, fit a spare wheel. I hate it, you know that. But anyway. Now, the A200, in modern terms, just to confuse everybody, means it's got a 1.3 litre engine. I know, confusing, but that's how they do it these days. So 1.3 four-cylinder turbo petrol puts out 120 kilowatts and a very, very substantial 270 Newton meters of torque through a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic driving the front wheels. So let's check it out on the road. Let's look inside.
My name is Michael Pashut, and I'm the proud owner of Change Cars and the host of the TV show All Things Motoring. I'm even prouder to work with Alan Rosenmeyer of Motor Matters, your #1 review specialist for all things new. If you are looking for a new or used car, if you're looking for advice, visit changecars.co.za, and I promise you, you will get the best advice from the best dealers in South Africa.
Out in the country, as we always are, because we're on a road trip. Isn't that unusual for Motor Matters? This A200 that they've just facelifted, but mechanically it's exactly the same as it used to be. And it was good before, it's good again now. It's hard to believe that it's just a little 1.3 litre turbo. 120 kilowatts, 270 Newton meters of torque, that's plenty. And of course it's a 7-speed dual clutch automatic transmission. There is a dynamic mode as well, but really it's not worth worrying about, and I can't say that I'll use it at any stage during this sort of drive. It's not important. But if you just show the front of over here on the dash, the big change on the interior has got to be this extended screen right across, the two joined up under one piece of glass. That's one of the big features of the facelift of the new version. But the other thing is, it's just become so much more of what you always expected from Mercedes. It may be the baby of the range, it may be the smallest one in the range, the A-Class, but to me, this still feels like a proper Mercedes, and exactly what I always expected from a Mercedes and how a Mercedes used to be. There may be a little bit of road rumble from the tires. I'm sure you can hear it on the video. But other than that, it's smooth, it's quiet, it's comfortable. It's not the kind of car that I'm going to throw around, so I'm not going to comment on the handling. But it feels true, it tracks nicely. It's got all the safety spec. It's got all those sort of things as well. And it's got M-Bucks that interferes and interrupts you when it feels like it. But that's not the point of this car.
You have not subscribed to this
feels,
service. To use it, you first have to activate the...
As I was saying, you get interrupted by Madam every now and then. But it just feels like quality. It feels like class. And it's a great, fun, pleasant car to drive. If you want to drive like a hooligan, get an A35 or an A45, not the A200. But it's got enough oomph as far as I'm concerned. Getting in behind the wheel, of course, you've got the usual TFT screen for instrumentation. But what I wanted to show you is we've done 250 kilometers so far on this test, and we're showing 7.0 liters per 100, mainly town driving and a little bit of our trip to Hearties. We haven't gone back yet, so I'm sure it'll drop down slightly more. You've even got paddles behind the steering wheel, and if you look down here, you've got your very comprehensive, of course, cruise control system over here, which is active cruise control. So in other words, you can set distance behind. This car, of course, the safety spec is what really counts. You come across to the main screen over here, to the infotainment screen, and notice this is one of the changes on the new version, is you've got the two screens right across, but joined under one piece of glass. So there you go. So it isn't the two separate screens like you used to have. It really does look impressive, I must tell you, and very comprehensive. And that really does make a difference as well, how comprehensive all the instrumentation is. So you've got the screen there. Again, the screen gives you everything you can possibly want. I'm not going to go through all of it, item by item. You come down, you've got your dual zone climate control. Of course, you've got the airplane type round vents. I mean, the system is really, really good. And over here you have got your cell phone point with inductive charging, which is really useful, and a USB-C there as well. So these are features you want these days, and the phone sits really nicely over there. You've got another little rubberized area over here. I'm not quite sure what it's for, but it can hold things in place without issues. And there's your button for dynamic if you want. A nice roller volume control for your infotainment, which again is really nice, and your cameras if you want to press and look there. There you get, of course, your 360 camera, etc., overhead views, and you can press different views if you want. There you go. It gives you different, nice, very nice views. You've got, of course, the bright work over here. You've got the different contrasting materials on the dash. It all looks really impressive, I've got to tell you, and the piano black around here. Nice feature on this car, electric adjustment for both driver and passenger. I do like those as well, and I've got to just mention that. And of course, you've got your aluminium pedals over there. Now, of course, the question becomes, this is a premium, very upmarket, smaller, B segment hatch, but you can't even call it that because it is a real Mercedes in my book. Prices start, and I'm using that word very, very carefully, at just under 800,000 Rand, 795. But you know, as is normal at this level of car and with these kind of premium cars, you can spend a lot more if you want and if you tick a few extra boxes. But you can get into it from 800,000. And you can also remember, Mercedes have their agility finance, which gives you guaranteed buybacks, etc., which does bring your monthly payment down very significantly and can get you behind the wheel of any model in the Mercedes range, if that's what you're looking for. But overall, this really is a premium product, and I think that's what really counts, and that's what you've got to take note of. And in my book, it may be the baby, but it is a real Mercedes. You're in this market. You better do yourself a favor and check this one out before you go and look at others, because I think it certainly is a contender in this premium, smaller car range. Can I call it that? For Motor Matters, I'm Alan R. See you next time.